Hello everybody, welcome back to another installment of Easy Weeknight Cooking. Again, our recipe tonight is right up in the description, and go ahead, take a look on that, baby. Tonight couldn't be easier, seriously. We're getting mango flavor with a real treat. So what are we doing? We are doing homemade honey walnut shrimp with a kick, and it's actually pretty healthy for you. We don't get any of the breading. Instead, we just get very, very simple, very easy. 20 minutes, you're done. And we've got a couple of different ways to do this tonight, so go ahead and keep watching. And by the way, if you have any great ideas for our spice blends, please go ahead and send us a message. You can email us at info@heartspice.com. Leave us a message on Facebook, leave us a comment on YouTube, whatever works. You may get your recipes featured right here, who knows. So what are we gonna need tonight? We need jambalaya mix, great stuff. And you get to use as much or as little as you like in this, depending on the tongues of the people that you're serving. So there's a couple of different options in our recipe tonight. We are going to need honey. Isn't that cute? This is great. I got this from one of our local honey vendors, Calapooya Honey at the Umpqua Valley Farmers Market. And it's just enough, just enough. I don't go through a lot of honey, so that's great. And what am I doing with that tonight? Seriously, why is it in a mug? Why? There's hot water in here. Go ahead and put that in a mug so that it's easily pourable, my lovelies. And we're gonna want that. We're gonna need half a cup to 1 cup of raw or toasted walnuts. We're gonna toast these tonight so they can be absolutely raw if you like. Definitely shelled. And a pound of shrimp. Now, what are we gonna put this all on? We've got a couple of different options here. We've got a bed of greens, we've got fettuccine. Ooh, look at this, look at this. This comes from another one of our local vendors. This is actually handmade fettuccine from Local Fix at the Umpqua Valley Farmers Market. And it is so good. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. You're going to be needing some butter. And so 1 tablespoon of butter. Go ahead and plop that in your pan. And I think that's about it. We're going to be needing 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of jambalaya mix from 1 pound of our shrimp. So tonight I'm doing 2 pounds, so everything's doubled for me. But go ahead and follow the recipe and just do whatever you like. I'm feeding a little bit more of a crowd tonight. It's really kind of nice. So I'm going to do a full teaspoon because I tried this with a 1/4 teaspoon last night and it didn't quite have enough kick for me. So go ahead and put your spices right on over your butter. Make sure that butter is actually melting nicely. And we are heating up the spices. You get an immediate just lift of the smell of the butter when those spices hit and start doing this. And so we're going to get that sizzling a little bit. Then we're going to throw in our walnuts. Now keep the bowl. We're going to be kneading that in just a couple of minutes because we're going to put our walnuts in there, toast them, get them cooked, and just browning a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead, ooh, smell that and hear that. Ooh, yes. We are going to toss our walnuts in that butter and get them toasted. And then we're going to take them out of the pan. And we're going to go ahead and put our shrimp there. We want the shrimp in a nice even layer across the entirety of the pan, which is why I've got this guy. I love this cast iron pan. So basically what we're doing here is we're just waiting for the walnuts to brown just a little bit. And so we're going to flip them over. And we don't want them burning. So keep an eye on these guys. Now, sometimes you'll hear a little bit of a pop, sometimes you won't. It depends on what kind of nuts you're working with here. And my spices are starting to burn. Woo! Take that thing off heat. And I'm going to lower my heat down. So it is time to pull my walnuts out. Oop. There we go. Time to pull out the walnuts. And what we're going to do here is we're going to leave as much of the liquid behind as possible. And now we're going to use that leftover butter for our shrimp. Go ahead and put your shrimp on in there. I love that sizzle sound. I love it. And we want an even layer across the bottom, a single even layer across the bottom. And what the shrimp is going to do is it's going to soak up all those wonderful spices that are on the bottom of the pan. And you're going to have some juices coming out of the shrimp, which is a good thing. And so you should not need a whole lot more butter here. What we're going to do right now is, like I said, making sure that this is an even layer across the pan, single layer. We're going to let the shrimp get opaque on one side, cooked about halfway through. I'm going to turn it over, and you'll see this wonderful crust of gorgeous spices on one side of your shrimp. Then we're going to, once it's cooked about halfway through, we're going to flip them over, put our walnuts back in, and put in our honey. Excuse me, the spices are getting to me. Sometimes that happens. Do be careful. It's strong stuff, right? Okay, it's looking good. Let's go ahead and turn some of this over. This is a very, very simple, very, very quick recipe. Now, the trick is right now, okay, this needs to go back up. The trick right now is to make sure that everything is turned over instead of staying on that first side. So that can take a little longer. Just go ahead and be patient with yourself and get her done, right? There we go. Get over there. Get over there. You too. There we are. So just go ahead and flip those guys over. We do not want to see any more gray on the top. We want everything that's gray to be close to the bottom of our pan. And I'm going to move some of these over so I can fit more down in there. And there we go. Now, a word on our shrimp. Okay, when you get your shrimp, I highly suggest, there's a tail. I highly suggest you get shrimp that is already peeled. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to thaw it out if it's frozen, or rinse it, and then you are good to go. Now, why do I ask you to rinse it? Because there's an awful lot of salt in these guys. And so, well, now if you want a little extra salty flavor without actually adding any more salt, that's great. But a lot of you guys are on low salt diets. So I definitely want to rinse your shrimp if you're on a low salt diet and you want to make sure you get all the goodies. So this particular dish is also really great because it's very low glycemic. And of course your honey will add a little bit of sugars to this, but you can definitely use a bed of greens instead of pasta or rice or something like that. And guys, play with your food. Get creative on what you put this over. You'll make a lot of delicious mistakes, but they will be delicious. Oh my gosh. And I couldn't tell you how many times we have played around in the kitchen here and found family favorites just by playing around. Next thing I know, everybody's asking for the recipe, and I go, I don't know what I did. And so I've got to recreate that thing. So absolutely have fun playing. So we are almost ready here. Everything is turned over, and that one needed to be turned over a little bit more. There we go. Everything is now turned over, and it is sizzling away. Some of it is not quite there yet. There we go. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to move some of the stuff that isn't quite over a hot spot over to the middle of our pan. And excuse the background, no big deal there. And we're gonna move the stuff that isn't quite done over to the middle of our pan. We want this pretty well cooked before we start anything else. We want a little bit of stuff in the bottom of the pan, a little bit of juice from our shrimp, and feel free to go ahead and add a little bit more liquid into the bottom if you feel it needs it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put my shrimp in. Boy, give it another toss. And now, 1 tablespoon of honey. Now, the reason I told you to put that in hot water is you need it pourable. There we go. And because I'm doing a double recipe, I need 2 tablespoons. And so, this is great stuff. Just enough honey in this bear right here. Get a little bit more in there. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yes! Now, this is raw honey from a local beekeeper. Yum. Another local beekeeper recently gave me some really great honey and blackberry honey. Oh my word, that was fantastic. So now that your honey's in there, you want to move quick. You want to stir this up. Make sure you don't get anything out of the pan. Stir this up because your heat is actually going to start thickening things up and start caramelizing things a little bit. And you want this well coated. Well coated. Go ahead and stir and flip. Woo. And that, my friends, is done. What am I going to do next? I need some pasta for this to go on, and I want to show you guys a trick. You see this baby right here? It is hot, 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 hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pour this in our pasta in right here and do some pasta. Nice boiling hot water. And this will not take long. Seriously will not. Woo-wee! Okay, I'm going to turn on the burner over here. Get my nice fresh pasta. Oh, gotta love fresh pasta, seriously. And put it on in there. Gonna go ahead and stir it a little bit and wait for that to get going. Meanwhile, I've got a couple ideas for you guys. So I need to move my shrimp further off the fire. Oh my word. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Yeah, this needs to go in that bowl. Seriously does. Okay, and I also need a hot pad. Okay, how am I going to do this? Can you tell I wasn't exactly planning ahead on this one. Can you tell? There we go. Go ahead and put that on in a bowl. There we go. I love this cast iron pan, but it's a little bit too big for me to handle one-handed. There we go. Isn't that looking wonderful? Oh, yum! And it smells fantastic. So go ahead and put that in a bowl. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Gimme, I want to eat it right now. Oh, yes. Alrighty, there's this. Now, a couple of different things you can do. And tonight, I'm working with some greens, and this is a power greens mix from an organic company that, you know, I really like the produce because it's just really fresh, and I love the mix. You have chard, you have spinach, and you have kale in there, and they're all baby greens, which means that you don't have a lot of the bitterness that comes from the more adult greens. A lot of really great minerals in there, but what's more, a lot of robust flavor. And so I threw some tomato on there, and now I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of the shrimp on there. Ooh, gimme, yum. Give me some of the shrimp and give me a couple walnuts. Ooh, get in there. And now go ahead and garnish any way you like. Me, I'm going to garnish with some fresh Parmesan cheese. because that's just the way I like it. Would you look at that? Oh, and it's steaming and it smells so good. Oh gosh. So, and when you're working with your pasta, same thing, but I would put the Parmesan on the pasta directly, and it's so good. Seriously, so yummy. So I need to get the rest of this out of my pan while I can, right? And there we go. Put that on in the bowl. Oof. This stuff is so wonderful. Now, a couple of notes for you. You can play with the amounts of both of your walnuts in here. If you want more walnuts, go ahead and put more walnuts in by all means. If it's not quite sweet enough, add some more honey. If you're worried about how hot it's going to be, start off with a 1/4 teaspoon of jambalaya to begin with, and then add to taste later. It may be that you want it just really hot and you actually add a full teaspoon sooner or later. Right now, to start off with, I would not recommend that because it may drown out the taste of the shrimp. But, you know, one of the great things about this is it's all about being able to play, right? It's all about getting great food that your family really loves without a lot of work. Because, let's face it, this is ready to go right now. And we've been on what? 15 minutes. Seriously, are you kidding me? It takes more time to shell the shrimp. What's with this? So, by all means, from our house to yours, I need to, this is just a really, really great recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some of that pasta out. Now you know I'm serious. Oh, look at that. Woo! Oh, yes. That is so gorgeous. So, go ahead and put some of your Parmesan right on your pasta. Oh yeah. Little bit of tomato. I love garnishing this way. Seriously, little tomato and some of our shrimp. A little bit of walnut. There we go. Now, is that gorgeous or what? Seriously, guys, you gotta try this. It is so good. We've tried this with 50-50 shrimp and scallops. Oh, it was fantastic. We've tried this, we've seen this on rice. We've seen this on a bed of greens. I've done it just on a regular salad with Greek vinaigrette. Oh, yum. And I cannot wait to do this. Seriously. I've been craving this stuff on a bed of pasta for almost a week now. So there you have it. You've got one of the simplest go-to dinners with high quality ingredients that you could even think of. It's healthy, it's wonderful, and it's easy. And what's more, it's elegant. So from our kitchen to yours, keep things tasty, and there you have it. A couple of tips and tricks, and we are going to sign off.